Go. So I think I have to start with Arsenal. There's a lot of excitement about the start of their season. How are you feeling and how far can they go?
Well, the story is far different from last year after the poor start, and expectations are very high this season, especially after I think they did a good season last season, and they were very close to get the Champions League spot. But unfortunately, they didn't. They failed mentally the last few games. And during the transfer market, I think they signed very good new signings, especially Jesus. For me, he speaks the same football than his teammates Arsenal. I think I like the feeling of revenge as well, and he's very determined and with a big ambitions. And the way Arsenal is playing since the beginning of the season, I've been enjoying their games. I think they're playing well, really, and mentally as well. They look strong, and the confidence is back. So it's very different of about what we've seen the last few seasons. But it's a big hope for the future because when you look at big guns, struggling at the start of the seasons, and now they're leading, the Premier League. So I think we will judge them when they meet big guns, and the next big games for them it will be against Manchester United. I know that there is no easy games in the Premier League, but I want to see them playing against top guns, because they are targeting, the Champions League spot. So they are we need to see how they will evolve and they will react against those teams. So far so good. Been enjoying Arsenal on the pitch, the behavior as well. Being enjoying as well Arteta management. I think he has found the first 11 in his squad. I think the transfer market is not finished yet, so they will probably add more talented players to the squad. But so far, I've been very disappointing for the last season, especially about the results and the ambitions at Arsenal. And I've been very disappointed as well on the transfer market. Didn't see why they were buying some players. The profile of some players didn't fit, into the dressing room and on the pitch as well with the DNA of the Arsenal. And for the last season, I think Edu and Arteta has done a great job. And I was not criticized Arteta even when he was entering, hard spells, Arsenal, because it takes time for a manager, especially for a young manager. But he has shown, character, authority, and step by step, he's rebuilding, this team, this spirit. And so far, I think they're on a good way, to do something good this season now.
Hmm. Arsenal fans have had to suffer for quite a few years now. Is
Yes.
this, not to be too premature now, but does this feel like Arsenal are back as a big team like this season? The signings, the form, the style
It's,
of play.
no, it's too early, but signings are very good.
Hmm.
And it's very exciting to see them, the way they play, the way they are smiling on the pitch, the way they are enjoying what they're doing on the pitch all together.
Hmm.
And you could see as well that they understand exactly what Arteta wants them to do on the pitch, tactically and on different positions. So I think we can see green lights, surrounding Arsenal. Just it's been ages that I've seen that, Arsenal. So, but I think it's too soon to say that they will probably reach the Champions League spot. I'm very convinced about that. I'm pretty sure that they will do that
Hmm.
because I always think that when you play good football, most of the time you get award from that. And so far, all the big games I've been watching, I think Arsenal is probably one of the best team actually in the Premier League.
Hmm.
So the confidence growing. They have the next couple of games affordable for them. They can add more points at the table before they will play their first big test beginning of September against Manchester United.
Hmm. Arteta's been quite clear that more signings will probably happen this month.
Yes,
Where would you sign someone if you could choose?
I will probably ask for another midfield player, because you could see that Arteta wants his team to control, the ball, just like Manchester City does all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And with Odegaard, with Smith Rowe, I think they have players who are capable, to keep the ball technically and with a good vision to give good assist as well. But they need to control the tempo of the game if they want to control their opponents. And for me, in the midfield area, they need to add more a quality player technically and mentally. Someone who can be able to control the ball and to direct the ball, and someone can who can have an influence on his teammates, and as well on the opponents. And when you have control of the ball and you show confidence, it's a deadly weapon for the opponents. And this is why I think that they need to add one more midfield player who can, not all the midfield players, someone who can be box to box, to someone who can be a number 10, number 8, something like that. And I will probably add another player up front, because with Jesus and Ketia, they only have 2 strikers, and someone who can play, different positions, either front of the attack or in the wings, something like that. I will probably add 2 more players at the squad, actually.
Mm-hmm. How seriously will they be taking the Europa League this season?
Well, the Europa League, as you know, that the winner has a chance to play the Champions League the following season. So it's something that Arsenal are very aware about it. They were not far to reach it last season. But I think they have the quality to do something good in this competition, knowing as well that there is big teams, in Europa League. So, but so far for me, the priority is the Premier League.
Mm-hmm.
If they can do something good, in the European Cup, that's good enough. I will take it. But to be honest with you, and I'm pretty sure that all the players and the manager are very focused about it, their priority is the Premier League. They need to come back the way the Arsenal was before, years ago. They need to get stronger, in the Championship, to get stronger in European Cups. And as I said, confidence is back, and they're enjoying their games. So step by step, don't forget that 2 or 3 years ago, when Arteta came to the club, it was a mess at the club. On top of it, it was during the pandemic, and he had so many troubles with some leaders, especially Aubameyang, his captain, and they were missing quality players, options. And now 3 years after that, all the work has been done, and I think they're doing great jobs. And this is why I think, for me, the priority is the Premier League. They need to come back stronger in the Premier League to pretend for something else on the European competitions.
Mm-hmm. And someone who isn't a new signing but has felt like one is William Saliba. Arsenal fans are very excited. He's looked very good.
Yeah.
What's your reaction
Yeah.
to his performances?
I'm not surprised. I've been following his season in Marseille last year, and he has impressed everyone, especially the French manager, because he was selected for his the first cap, in his career, and so he deserved it. He was a leader. He was a monster at the back of the defense, and he showed so much maturity and confidence. And I like the same way than Jesus, the way he came back to Arsenal. We didn't know for 1-2 weeks that maybe he's going to stay at Marseille. Maybe he won't be, and he will be unhappy, with Arteta decisions. But the fact is, I think Arteta, I've seen him, during the preseason tour, and he saw to himself that he was good enough to start the Premier League season. And he showed maturity, character, and he's enjoying, his spells actually at Arsenal. That's what he was expecting when he first signed for Arsenal. Mm-hmm. And after 3 years, he didn't play 1 minute for them. He came back after making a great season with Marseille. It's not easy in Marseille, the place. It's not easy. The pressure is very high in the city as well. The passion of the fans are very high. So they have pressure every single day, every single game. So it was a very good season, very, very good spell for him. And he came back to Arsenal with, he was a different player, but as well a different person. He grew up so quickly. He get mature very quickly, and he showed personality at the back as well. And you could see that. For me, as I said it at the beginning of the season, if he's going to play the same way he played for Marseille, well, I said that Ben, the central defender, Ben White, will be in trouble. For the moment, he's playing right back, but because Tomiyasu is not fit enough and he doesn't have competition to earn his place. But when it's the case, it will be difficult for him. I'm telling you.
Another of your former teams, Chelsea, have had a more mixed start to the season, shall we say, losing to Leeds heavily on the weekend. Should they be worried about their place in the top four this season?
You could see frustrations, with Tuchel, on the bench since the beginning of the season. He's very nervous. His communication is bad as well. Try to find excuses surrounding, bad performances, bad results. I think he's very annoyed as well by the fact they are not active on the transfer market. He wants players, especially at the back. He could have anticipated that, to be honest with you. When you leave 3 important players at the back like this for free, you should have anticipated this. So I think for this year has been very, very difficult mentally, for the club, for the fans, for the players, for the manager, and you could see that they started, the Premier League tired. I can see that Tuchel is very tired, he's very nervous. He was complaining about the pre-season tour, all the trip they have to do. It was exhausting for them. On transfer market is ending, in a couple of days, and he doesn't see any players coming in. So I can understand his frustration. On top of it, he's losing big important players. Kante, for example, Kovacic is not fit as well. He lost Koulibaly on the sending off last game. So to be honest, it's not the perfect start for them on and off the pitch, and I can understand their frustration. But I think Tuchel should show more composure. He should take it on him. Try to show that he's calm. Because the fact he's nervous. The players can feel it. And when you look at him on the bench, to be honest with you, he needs to calm down a little bit. He needs to show more confidence to his players, and they need definitely. It's a must-win game for them against Leicester. They cannot afford to drop points, especially at home after the 2 points they dropped against Tottenham. So they really have to win that game if they want to keep in touch with the podium. And if you want to, victories, is the best medicine when you are not good on the pitch and when you have troubles outside the pitch. So victories can be the shadow of everything.
It would have seemed unthinkable a few months ago, but could Tuchel come under pressure in terms of his job this season if this carries on?
Who, Tuchel? Of course. It's been the case, with Paris Saint-Germain. The first season was good, and the second season, the trouble started. And you could see that when things go right, he's very happy, he's very smiling on a press conference. But as soon as troubles arrive, on the pitch and off the pitch, you could see, that he's nervous. And this is something that you can spread, into the dressing room. So if results are not good enough, and I'm pretty sure that, as I said, the communication is good enough as well from him, because he sent a bullet, to the new owner about the transfer market, that he was not happy about that. He was expecting more players. So if the situation still now will be, and the result is not coming in his way, that could be, a big pressure on him, and that could be, that troubles can happen very easily in the dressing room in terms of relationship and communications. Yeah.
And as a player, how would you have reacted to the touchline incident that he had with Conte the other week?
Well, we are focused as a player. We are focused on what's happening on the pitch, and you need to avoid everything surrounding the pitch, especially the bench, and as well what's happening in the ground. So if you are too sensible about that, that could affect the game and the focus on your game, and the concentration as well. So you need to, if you are a professional footballer, you want to play highest level with highest pressure, then you need to control your emotions. So sometimes it's good to see your managers fighting with the opponent manager, but in the meantime, the reality and the truth is on the pitch.
Yeah. You mentioned Aubameyang earlier and the issues that Arteta had with him at Arsenal. Chelsea is strongly linked with signing him. Would that be a good move for them, or was that a short-term solution?
This is a question you should ask to Aubameyang himself, because after his spell, at Arsenal, I didn't see that coming the way it ends, because I was quite disappointing and surprised about what happened between him and Arteta. But I could understand Arteta's decision, to be honest with you. And he signed, I remember when he went to Barcelona, the first few games, he scored so many goals. I thought to myself, wow, what a good story for someone that's been disappeared for months and months Arsenal. And after signing his goal contract. But after that, he didn't play much, didn't score much. And now you realize that even Barcelona prefer Lewandowski, and the fact he knows very well the Premier League, Aubameyang, that he will fit perfectly, into the game. But I think he still has qualities. I think if he comes back to England again, that would be with the feeling of revenge, especially the Arsenal rivals are not far from Chelsea, and he will be, in London, a city that he knows very well already. So he will set up perfectly, and I think he will probably give an answer to Tuchel in terms of efficacy in front of the goal, scoring goals. You see that they are missing strikers. It's been the case for ages at Chelsea. They need to get a proper striker that can score between 20-25 goals at least in the Premier League. And they don't have that for ages. So it's a gamble in the meantime, because I have no idea what is the real level of Aubameyang right now. I have no idea. I know that he can score goals, but he has to be fit physically, and he has to be good in his mind as well. He needs to find a balance, a really good balance between mental and physical. And this is my only question. It could be a hit the first few games, but then all of a sudden he could disappear. And what happens if he doesn't score for the first few games he played for Chelsea, with all we all talks about the curse surrounding the number 9 at Chelsea. So he's a quality player, but my question is, what is exactly the level of Aubameyang right now? I have no idea. So for me, it looks more a panic buy than something that's been they've been thinking about it for months or weeks. Transfer market, as I said, is ending in a few days, and you could see that they are like they're in panic. Chelsea, they want to buy defenders, strikers, but they don't know what they want. They want this player. I don't know. I don't see the real politics behind it. The projection in the future. You need to, if you want to spend so much money on a player, you need to have a vision of it. But actually, I don't see that coming from Chelsea. I think it's like panic buys. They are willing to do everything they can to bring players that can fill up a void in their team, especially central defense and up front in striker's position. So this is not the best way to do things. So to answer your question, Aubameyang, that could be something good, but I have question about it.
Of course. Another intriguing transfer rumour for Chelsea is Harry Maguire at Manchester United, who's clearly struggling there. Could a move to Chelsea kickstart his career?
Honestly, I watched the game Monday night, and I look at his picture, his face, on the bench, him and Cristiano Ronaldo, and I'm pretty sure that he was thinking exactly what everyone was thinking after the game. After the very good performance collectively, and especially at the back of the defense, Martinez and Varane, I think they play very well, both of them. And if I am Maguire, I will feel insecure in a very difficult position. I lost the handband. I'm not the captain anymore. I lost my first place into the team, and now I am on the bench. And I think when I look at him, my first feeling is this guy is destroyed mentally. He's not there anymore. He needs to rebuild mentally, and that he has to do this, every single games by playing well. Try to get back, the confidence from the fans, from his teammates, from the press, from himself. Try to feel more secure on the pitch and outside as well. At the moment, this is not the case. I think mentally he's very impacted. I think he's very low, he's down. He needs to work mentally. He's got quality to be a good defender. For me, he's not one of the top defenders. He's never been one of the top defenders for me, but he's a good quality defender if he's good in his head and he play well. But this is not the case for ages. He has received criticism since 2-3 years now. And I'm not sure his future is lying with Manchester United. I think things has been too far, but can they afford that, Manchester United? Because if they sold Bailly to Marseille, they only have 2 central defenders, or maybe 3 with the other one. I can't remember his name, but to be honest with you, if I am Maguire, I will probably think about it because the World Cup is coming. So if I'm not playing, that means my position in the national team is in danger as well. So it's all the dangers is surrounding me. So I need to take a very strong decision for my future right now. Yeah. I cannot see, if I'm Maguire, I cannot see myself playing the next game. Ten Hag has been convinced with Varane and Martinez. Yeah. He will probably, for sure, 100% sure, guarantee, they will play the next game. And if they play well and they win again, he will never change his team for the next few games. That means Maguire can spell the next weeks on the bench, looking at his teammates. So he needs to take a big decisions. If he wants to play for Chelsea, well, good enough. But I think that could be good for him. I think he will probably play because Silva is age and his lack of speed, is tremendous on the pitch. And the fact Koulibaly is not playing, but he's suspended only one game, so they need a central defender. So I think it's a win-win position as well for Chelsea and Maguire. If I am Maguire, I will leave Manchester United.
Mm-hmm. And then finally, I want to move on to Barcelona. They've been at the centre of a lot of controversy this summer, their financial levers. How have you reacted to that story?
About the money they spent?
Well, just the whole, the money they've spent, how they've raised the money, the players.
Since UEFA, have put, the financial fair play, for some big clubs, it's not the same story anymore. So they need to be careful about the finance. And I know that there have been a lot of talks, in England as well as in France about the money they're spending, the money they don't have, they spend. But they have sold so many private equity, inside the Barcelona. So they have received a lot of funds, But in the meantime, when you spend so much money like this and you ask your players to split their wages, this is something I don't understand, and I will never understand that. So far, so good. I think they are selling the jewels of Barcelona years after years, and it's like panic as well for them financially. They are trying to do everything they can, to avoid, a bankrupt. And but I think the way they built this team, I think they look more competitive, and they have been buying some very good players. But financially, of course, it's a big question. But I said there is nothing illegal in what they did, in what they've done, on the transfer market, because they sold the jewels of Barcelona. So I think they sold the TV rights, their own TV right, their own TV company, things like this, and they receive 100 millions of euros. So they have the money to spend on the transfer market. But it's a big, big, big gamble for the future. What can happen if things still the same on the pitch? They don't get what they want in terms of awards and money. What are they going to sell next? To fill, the void, the financial void, it's a big gamble for me. But they look very competitive, and I look at the game they play when Lewandowski scored 2 goals, and they play well. They draw, the first game at home. I think Xavi was not very happy about that. I think they have a big concern as well with Kande about his contract. It's the clock is ticking as well for him, to be registered with Barcelona. So they still have a lot to do outside the pitch. But if I talk only about what's happening on the pitch, I think they will look stronger than last season, and they will probably be hard, to beat, because they have a quality team.
And just finally, Frankie de Jong's been in the papers a lot here, linked to Manchester United, allegedly asked to take a pay cut or to forego some money. How hard is it for a player to deal with this off the pitch stuff, that pressure, to keep playing and to want to stay? Yeah.
It's difficult because all it matters for clubs and players, it's money. In this case, this is a priority most of the time. Of course, the project, the sport project is important for the club and the players. But when you talk about big guns, dealing with selling or buying players, we're talking about money. And I'm not really convinced that De Jong wants to come in the Premier League. I'm not sure about that. But if he comes, I hope that will be something that he's happy with, because I don't get this feeling. But for me, it's all about money. It's something between De Jong and Manchester United, and the price that Barcelona wants from Manchester United too. It's all about money. You can see that with Leicester and Chelsea about Fofana. And they all know that. We all know that the last few days of the transfer market are probably the most important of the transfer market, because most of the clubs are playing, checks, and they want to win times, to put pressure on players, and to put pressure as well on clubs, and to accept their deal. And this is why I spoke with the sport director of a French club yesterday on the phone, and he was talking to me, and he was saying, just like me, that these are the most important days of the transfer market, because many transfers are going to be made, the last few hours before it ends. So a lot of pressure, a lot of money. It's all about money for me.
Got it. Thank you for your time, Manu. Appreciate it.